Hello everyone, my name is Jason, this is
Monty.
And welcome to J&M Talk. This is the first one in 2016. We're going to be talking about a very, very fascinating philosophy. We're going to be talking about dualism. Now this is a philosophy that explains the interaction between the mind and body. There are several different interpretations behind what this means, and you want to go over one of the major ones of the first one.
Alright. Says, dualism can be defined as two separate and independent forces or ways of thinking that are equal in strength and logical reasoning. The separate ways of thinking are not considered opposite, but different. The ultimate goal of both are usually similar, but distinctly different. People choose what they feel more comfortable with, and other cases to be relevant to them. Psychological. That's the psychological definition, of course.
And that's sort of the fascinating thing about dualism, you might say this, is it is both a philosophy for both, of course, for a bunch of philosophers to talk about, but it's also kind of a scientific, psychological thing that we can look at. Now, you may not understand exactly what dualism is, and it's very difficult to explain. The example that I usually give is it's kind of like breathing. Naturally, you really don't have to think about breathing, your body just does it naturally, and that is how it explained dualism. Now this, of course, is derived from an old Latin phrase, which is cogito ergo sum, or I think, therefore I am, and that was Descartes. He's the person who really came up with dualism and what we know of it today. So actually, I kind of was thinking about philosophy. Me and him, we both love philosophy. I think that you can kind of see that in our videos. We kind of make a lot of reference to it.
I think so.
But I was doing a bit of research, really back around Thanksgiving, and I read a definition of a word, and that kind of got my mind going. So I just started doing some research, and I happened across this philosophy of dualism. It just captivated me, and I read about it for really, I have been reading about it since then. So it's just a fascinating philosophy, and we do encourage you to read about it. So what do you think about dualism?
Jason brought this to me as sort of an idea.
Mm-hmm.
So it sort of piqued my interest, talking about two things that go against each other, may not be opposites, but aren't alike, and have a similar goal, but a goal that is not the same. And really, it got me to thinking about what this channel is about.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that I said to you not long ago was that it's a lot like the will of God and the will of man. We both have these ideas.
Mm-hmm.
We know the differences. We know there's similarities,
Yep.
but we have to realize to follow the will of God, of course. But we're only human.
Mm-hmm.
And my pastor said something from the pulpit not long ago. He said it's anytime he's preaching, it's God's inspiration matched with his ideas, his philosophy, I guess you would say. And I found this very interesting because it's very much like what I just read to you in dualism. It's two things that are trying to go side by side, but have several differences, different goals or levels of perfection, I should say.
And I think that also is kind of a metaphor for where we are right now. I think you could kind of look at me and him, and although we do have different ways of thinking, we have different ways of going about certain things.
Very much so.
I think, yeah, exactly. I think that they're both independent, they're both logical, and they're both rational, although they're different and they kind of converge on certain issues. But the goals are usually very similar, or sometimes they're the exact same goals. And I think, and the reason we kind of look at philosophy is kind of to explain life around us, to look at the things that we can't understand, and we come up with theories and ideas about how to explain this giant world that we live in. And this is just another fascinating one. And really the reason we're so interested in philosophy is, of course, we are still trying to come up with a name for the channel. And I will give you a hint. We're not ready to reveal the full name, but dualism was very important in coming to a conclusion. And yes, we do have a name, and we're not ready to reveal it yet, but we do have it, and dualism helped in getting to that place. So, I think that's anything, unless you have anything else to say.
I don't.
Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to have song inspection next week. We've already decided on the song that we're going to do. Then finish off the first month of 2016 with Bible Chat. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Tell us in the comment section what do you think about dualism in general. So, with all that said and done, my name is Jason. You are
Monty.
And we're signing off.